Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today in Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're very excited to have you joining us on a little bit of a cloudy morning.
Day. Yeah. Well, we need the rain. We need the rain.
We did need the rain. We did need the rain.
I say that as a gardener, where I go out there almost every day watering.
Yeah, probably some of our audience is like, why does he need the rain?
Yeah. Last night it was just pouring, and I'm like, I mean, it woke me up, and you know, Jen was saying, "Oh man, it's really pouring." I said, "Yeah, I think that's good.
That's good. That's good.
I need that, so I don't have to get up early and start watering again."
Exactly. So I'm glad to be on here. Though it's always a good day for Today Mañana,
always,
no matter the
always.
weather. So if it's kind of rainy today, get into a cozy place, grab your café con leche, and enjoy some Today Mañana that we have in store for everyone.
And we have great guests, right?
Great guests lined up. We're going to be joined shortly by Angella Windett from Steinlage Insurance Agency, and then later in the show by Alexia Fox from Roslyn Farm and Vineyard.
That's a beautiful name, Roslyn Farm, right?
It is.
I like that Vineyard part too, especially.
Yeah, exactly. It did remind me a little bit. There's the Roslyn Chapel.
That's
famous. Yeah. So I was like, the first thing Nick said it, I'm like, the chapel. I'm like, no. And I said, oh, it's the farm. I said, oh yeah. And I looked it up. So, and very beautiful. I think it's funny. It has a similar vibe in the sense that it's a very beautiful, peaceful, and then a lot of the photo gallery gives that older fashioned vibe. It's like a 1938, I think, farm, and so very beautiful. So we're excited to learn more about it ourselves. Of course, love being here on the I Love CVille Network set. That's, of course, to Emergent Financial Services, our presenter, and our fantastic partners, Matthias, Realty, Charlottesville Opera, Forward Adelante. Always love our great partners here on the show, and Judah behind the camera doing
what
his
more
magic.
What more do we need?
That's how you
Just
are able to watch this show. Exactly. Yeah. If Judah wasn't here, we would not be live on air. So we always appreciate that. So as always, be sure to send us any questions, comments. Xavier, you always tell people to do a couple things.
Well, that's right. Don't forget to like and share. And then subscribe. Hit that little button there.
Exactly. Hit the button.
If you can find it.
It would be so great one day if we could do that thing that they do on YouTube where Xavier points down and the button appears and you can click it. I know. One day we'll get that level of sophistication on the show. But we always read the great questions, comments. So be sure to send them your way, and we will read them live on air. You know, already we got some people tuning in. Nicholas Urpí, he may not be on the show, but he is watching the show. So Nicholas Urpí liked the show this morning. Elizabeth Urpí liked the show this morning. Monica Miller.
Wow.
From Montana.
Okay.
Watching the show this morning. And then Maria Urpí, my little one.
She's watching too?
She's looking at Daddy.
Yeah, she's looking at Daddy. That's right.
See.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I know that guy.
If she smiles. She'll be like, wait, that's Daddy's voice on the show.
Well, she can recognize me too now, little too.
Yeah, I know, but she smiles
It's the guy with the big nose and the glasses. That's got to be Abuelito.
But she smiles more.
Yeah, of course. No doubt about it.
But, so, I mean, if Michael was here, we'd comment on how great UVA football's doing. So I'll just throw that out there for our fans.
That's pretty amazing, I have to admit.
Starting 3-1 is always nice.
This will be tomorrow. Big day.
Tomorrow's going to be a big game. Yeah. Tomorrow we find out is that can we only beat lousy teams?
That's okay. Listen, better. We there was a couple of years we couldn't beat them either.
I have been there in person when we've lost lousy teams, so it's good to beat lousy teams for a change.
It's a good start.
Yeah, exactly. That's always a good start. And so I had to throw that in there just as in honor of Michael. Whenever he's on with me, we always start the show that way. But I don't know about you. I'm ready to jump right in.
Of course. Angela's here. She's jumping up and down. So, let's
do it. Let's do it. So without further ado, we're excited to welcome to the show this morning Angella Windett from Steinlage Insurance Agency. Angella, thanks so much for being back.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Doing well about yourself.
Good. I feel a little lost today, like my right hand. Margot's not here.
Your right hand's up in the sky.
Yeah, she's up in the sky, going to Austin, Texas, to the XYPM live event that a lot of financial advisors go to this time of year.
Right.
And we're very fortunate that they are letting us utilize their platform. And she is talking about Medicare to financial advisors this weekend. So yeah, we're very very excited.
That's fantastic.
So important.
It is. You know, that's the biggest thing at Steinlage we're about is education. You know, we want to make sure people understand Medicare or health insurance in general. You know, for folks that are, you know, on Medicare, there's changes that happen every year. You need to be aware of those changes. So, and we'll touch base about that some today. But, you know, when you go on Medicare, it's something you've never experienced before.
Exactly.
And you need to understand it because it's what you're going to be on for the rest of your life. So it's very important to, you know, find someone like us to guide you to know, do you take Medicare at 65 or not, depending on your circumstances. And if you do, we guide you with how to enroll, get you enrolled into your Medicare plans. We do a free review during the Medicare annual enrollment period, which is coming up October 15th to December 7th. So lots of education and making sure you're reviewing your plans every year is so important.
That is true, yeah. That's the one thing. So as we do financial plans for clients, that's one of the things we always talk about is like, you know, make sure that, you know, you look at your Medicare and, you know, if you need some help, you know, we always tell them there are people out there that can help you. So, and it's important because most people just, you know, they don't think about it. And then they have questions sometimes. It's like, you know, should I do this? Should I do that? And it's like, you know, we're not the experts, you know, there are people that do that. And,
well, it can be daunting sometimes because I would say a good number of people, they when we're doing the financial plans, retirement planning, they're like, well, Medicare is free, right? Yeah. And they get a little nervous when you're like, well, not exactly, yes and no, right? So it's great to be able to say, hey, but don't worry. It's not as though you're like, oh no, I have to choose between all these supplemental things. What do I do? It's not free anymore. Can I afford it? And say, well, talk to someone.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, you guys are very instrumental to letting your clients know if they can afford Medicare or not. And for those folks that don't know, is when you go on Medicare, Social Security goes back 2 years on your household income, if you're single or if you're married, to determine, do you pay the standard amount for Medicare premiums, or are you having what they call IRMA, and people, if you don't know what that is, that stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjusted Amount, a surcharge that can be added to your Medicare premiums. So people need to understand it's not just what's going on currently in your life that determines your Medicare premiums, it's what is happening 2 years ago. And, you know, depending on the circumstances. For example, if I was working in 23, but I'm not now in 25, you know, and my income was higher in 23, you know, we help our clients with what they call an IRMA appeal. So these are just other things that we do for our level of services for our clients at Steinlage, for sure.
I'm glad you said that because that's one of the questions we always get, right? And it's really funny because, you know, I tell that to people. It's like they look back for 2 years and they said, is it the average 2 years? I said, no, 2 years, right? Well, you were earning 2 years ago. Is that correct, right?
Correct. Yeah. And that's what people think. It's 20, you know, if I'm on Medicare this year in 25, you're looking at my income from 23 and 24. No. I am only, Social Security is only looking at your income from 2023. And the threshold for a married couple is $212,000, and the threshold for a single individual is $106,000. So if your income was above those thresholds in 2023, sorry, Medicare is going to cost more.
Which the irony is that I would say for a lot of people, especially if you're single and you retired 2 years ago, there's a good chance you were probably somewhere after a long career, you may well have been at that 106 level.
Absolutely.
That's not an insanely high threshold.
No, and it isn't. And when you do an IRMA appeal, if you do have high income, unfortunately, you're sending your appeal into Social Security. It takes about 90 days for them to make a determination. And if they do make a determination, they will give you a credit for the extra Medicare premiums that you have paid. So it's you don't just pay the lower amounts right away. You have to pay those higher amounts right away. And if you are given an appeal, then they'll reduce your premiums and then credit you for the extra that you've paid that calendar year by reducing your Medicare premiums. Remember, we're dealing with the federal government. They're not giving your money back to you.
Exactly.
And so give me an idea. So like what would be a IRMA appeal? I mean, granted, you said I was working, but I mean, everybody's working and then eventually retires and then gets, you know, then essentially gets their...
Yeah, that's the most common appeal that we do for folks is a work stoppage or a reduction. Unfortunately, deaths, divorces, those are some other factors. You guys also know capital gains and investment income cannot be appealed. So that, you know, that's the other thing. I mean, you guys are trying to make money for your clients, which is great. But if they don't want to have higher Medicare premiums, then that's the conversation they have with you guys to say, hey, let's talk about how much I really want to make here.
Can we do some tax loss harvesting?
Absolutely. And I'm not a tax advisor, nor am I a financial advisor. I know a little bit, but that's your lane. Just like this is my lane. You if you didn't understand it, you wouldn't assume or talk about it either.
Exactly.
Well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's interesting.
That's so key to know, because I think that's one of those things that, if you're thinking about it, most people, when you're going for Medicare for the first time, you have no expertise in Medicare. I mean, why would you?
No, and that's why we tell people, when you're becoming eligible for Medicare, start the process 12 to 18 months ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So then, like I said, depending on your scenario, are you taking Medicare at 65 or are you delaying it? Because the process is different when you apply for Medicare at 65 or if you've delayed it later. Mm-hmm. The process is totally different. Okay. And people may have large employer coverage, 20 or more employees, where they can delay Medicare, and maybe they delay it because they have a spouse to still insure or they have dependents, and they're just going to keep working a little bit longer, or depending on their employer size, if it's less than 20, they have to take Medicare. And then that's when we can say, hey, are we going to have Medicare as primary and your employer insurance as secondary, or are we going to do Medicare and Medicare plans? Yeah. So we are able to do this side-by-side comparison to do what's best for the client.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That's great to know. That's great to know, because there are times where, people are planning about what, when they want to retire. And the issue is, some people, without any doubt, are working beyond 65, Absolutely. Right? And then they come to that situation where it's like, okay, I'm going to get, Medicare, when should I get it? Should I get it this year, next year? And knowing that, being able to look at that is probably a great idea, because maybe it's great to get it a little earlier than later, or vice versa, right?
Absolutely. And not only do we compare the employer insurance to Medicare plans, if there's a retirement plan that is offered to somebody when they're leaving an employer, we're here in Charlottesville, get a lot of UVA employees. We can compare these retirement plans to what's on the private insurance side to see which option is the best for their needs. Retirement people need to understand, though, if you do not take your retirement plan, you can't go back. So that's why it's really important to have looked at these options and not just assume, my retirement plan is the best option for me to take when I retire.
Yeah.
Now, is it ever too late to take Medicare? In other words, what if you stay on your retirement plan, but then later on you say, I want to switch? Can you switch?
You can. You can. It just depends on which carriers will accept you. Obviously, you may have some medical underwriting you have to go through. We may have to get documentation that shows that you have had coverage. Okay. Those kinds of factors determine, if you come off of that. But if you come off that retirement plan, again, you can't go back.
Go back.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned, obviously, one of the key things that you worked with people on is, what has changed in the past year. And I would imagine maybe there's been a lot of new bills and things like that. Are there any major changes that people should be thinking of, or anything significant that people should be aware of?
Yeah, the biggest thing is review your coverage if you're on Medicare, or if you're on an under 65, like the marketplace plan. Make sure you're reviewing those, because there are changes. Yeah. One big thing coming up next week, the federal government has until the 30th to decide, is there going to be subsidy for the under 65 or not? Okay. We're hearing rumblings that there's a good chance that there's not. So that means premiums are going to go up, and then are people going to be able to afford their health insurance or not? Okay. That's going to be key. Okay. On the Medicare side, we had the Inflation Reduction Bill this year that allowed medications to be capped at $2,000. That bill was renewed, and the cap next year is $2,100. Okay. So just going up an extra $100. The Part D deductible currently is $590. It's going up to $615. We don't know about what Medicare Part B is going to cost and what the deductible is. We just hear the rumbling. So I don't want to speak on something that's not in print yet. Yes. But that's big. And then, doing these reviews, Medicare enrollment, the annual enrollment period is October 15th to December 7th. We're 2 weeks away. You know how a tax person is really busy in April? That's our tax season. Exactly. It really is. We at Steinlage, we are licensed in all 50 states. And so we are jamming the whole time. Plus, we are also appointed with most of the carriers. As long as the state will allow a broker to sell it, we're selling it. There's a few states that they won't let you sell if you're not living there. So that we get that, but that's very unusual. But yeah, during the annual enrollment period, this is your time to check your Part D drug plans. Review these things. I can't tell you people that we talk to, I'm happy with my plan. I'm like, have you gotten your renewal in the mail yet? Well, no, but I'm happy with my plan. I said, premiums change and formularies change. How do you know you're happy? So please don't just think you're going to be happy. Premiums are going up, formularies change, and there may be a better plan that's that's a better fit for your medicines for next year. And even if you come to Steinlage and have us review it, and I say just stay put, at least someone has put their eyes on your medicines and seen what's available. And then we either make a recommendation of making a change, or we tell folks to stay put. So that's what we do.
Great.
And not just Part D drug plans, but Medicare Advantage plans too.
Okay.
Those are the two big things that are reviewed during the Medicare annual enrollment period. There is no Medicare annual enrollment period for a Medicare supplement. If you want to make a change to a supplement, depending on your state, you may have to go through medical underwriting, or you may have the anniversary rule or the birthday rule when you can change your Medicare supplement. And dental and vision, you can get that any time during the year. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be done.
It doesn't have to be during this period.
No, it does not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So basically, though, anybody that is on Medicare, they literally have to wait till this time to call you, right? Because if they call you in June,
they probably don't have a renewal notice yet.
We don't. Absolutely. I mean, the Medicare plans roll out October 1. That's when they roll out. You can go on Medicare.gov and see what's available to you in your zip code. We cannot start officially selling it till October 15th.
Okay.
So that's when we can start putting applications, submitting applications for our clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why you're busy at that time, because it's not like anybody can call you in June and say, review this and tell me what to do in October.
Right.
It's like,
and the thing is, if you don't make a change, and maybe you should have, you are stuck. And that happened this year with that Inflation Reduction Act. Formularies changed drastically on Part D drug plans. So people were happy, they didn't make a change, then they're calling us and saying, why is my medicine so much more expensive? Because maybe it was a tier 3 last year, it's a tier 4. Tier 4 is going to cost more. So you got to check it. Just check it to have peace of mind that you're on the right plans.
Exactly, yeah. Because I think that's the key. Sometimes people assume, okay, if I don't change anything, nothing will change. I mean, maybe the premium will change, but nothing else will change under my feet. And that's not the case.
No.
I mean, they're all that fine print they show you when you sign up, that can change, and you just sit there and think, well, nothing's changed. And, well, that's not the case.
Right, absolutely. And then even also, if you do have an expensive medicine, and this is going to continue for 26 as well, if you have one medication that's $600 or more, you can go on a repayment plan. Where this, for example, if you have one medicine that's over $600 and you're going to hit that $2,000 cap this year, they can divide that $2,000, say, into 12 months if you found out in January, and that's the amount that you can pay back to your Part D carrier for your medication. So they will also have this repayment plan for next year as well.
Yeah, you don't have to pay the full price each
exactly.
month.
Yeah, if you can't afford it.
Cap.
Right. If you can't afford it, you can be put on a repayment plan.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yep.
That's much easier than saying,
Absolutely.
oh, no, I have to come up with all this money until I hit the cap.
Right.
Because it helps you kind of plan it out, know your budget, and go forward from there. So what does it typically remind people what it looks like? Okay, they give you guys a call, they give Steinlage a call. What does that kind of process look like if they say, I want to review something, or maybe this is my first time talking to you guys? I did this by myself last year, and now I could use some help.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not a client of ours, give us a call. We have a team of schedulers that will take your information, set up an appointment. Then there's an intake form that we have our clients fill out. Doctors, medicines, that kind of information is so important. So I know how to drive the conversation when I speak to that individual. Here, since we're in Charlottesville, we can do phone, Zoom, or we can do in person. Most of our we usually do phone calls or Zooms for the most part for with our clientele. But yeah, you fill out that form. I do my homework before you have your call, and then I'm ready to drive the conversation if we do an overview, or if it's a first time, I'm talking to someone about what we're going to do to help that individual get on Medicare.
Yeah, so kind of what do they need? What are their goals? What are their needs?
Absolutely, and we're here to hold their hand the whole way. If someone does need that hand holding, we're here to do that for them. And it's okay. That's why we have a team in Missouri. That's where our home office is with our schedulers. I have a great team in Charlottesville. Hi, Shelby and Josiah, if you're listening. But I do. I have a great team behind me here in Charlottesville that they are here to help the clients. After I've talked to them, and if we've submitted applications, they're able to talk to my team and help them with any questions that they have.
That's fabulous.
That is fantastic.
Now, I think you mentioned, is it just Medicare, or what if somebody's like,
under 65?
Under 65, still looking for health care, can they also call?
So we have the under 65 open enrollment coming up as well. That's November 1 to December 15th, usually.
Okay.
Now, we've had some of these states come off of the marketplace and create their own state exchange. Virginia is one of those. We have until December 31st. But if your state is still on the marketplace, you only have until December 15th. In Virginia, we have till December 31st, and then we actually have the month of January too. So if you still enroll in January, it's for February, but that's where they're cutting it off in Virginia. But we help those folks under 65 that maybe do not have health insurance available through their employer. We can help them. If they're don't have coverage, we can get them enrolled. If they have coverage, we can review it and make changes at that time.
Yep.
And so do you compare, I'm sorry.
No.
Do you compare, what the state has versus what so in other words, if Virginia has their own, does that mean that you no longer go to the open marketplace? The
federal one?
Right,
federal
we
one?
don't, I mean, it's still the same thing, basically.
Oh,
it's
okay.
just, we're called the Virginia State Exchange
okay,
now,
okay.
yeah.
So same thing, only just...
Yeah, many states have come off of that.
Okay.
So, yeah, but they're basically, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Virginia is a key one. If I'm correct, it's always great to review that because they will automatically renew you sometimes if you don't do anything.
Absolutely. That's what they've done this year. If you didn't go back in there and make any changes, they're going to auto renew you this year for 26 with no subsidy, which it may not be there. So it may be accurate, but if you're getting quite a bit of subsidy, you might get a shock if you haven't gone in there and done anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
And again, probably
That's
same
important.
thing. If something in your plan has changed, and you just say, well, and you don't do anything about it, you're going to get renewed in the same plan, even if, what if the formulary changed on that, or what if, the premium has changed on that? It's not like Virginia marketplace going to say, well, you could have done better by switching here, so we'll switch it for you. They're going to be like, no, we're going to leave you the exact same plan as last time.
Well, the biggest thing here, and this is through the United States, Aetna has dropped out. So Aetna is not going to be a carrier here. We have it here in Charlottesville. That's carriers going away nationwide. So if you have Aetna right now, you don't have someone telling you this is what they're signing you up for. You have no coverage for 26, so you need to be talking to me so that I can help you change your plan. The other thing is, here in Charlottesville, we have HMOs. Doctors can leave networks. So that's another reason why you want to review that plan. Doesn't mean your doctor is still going to be in your network next year. So lots of different factors here why you should review your plans.
And go ahead.
No, go.
No, you first.
I keep interrupting.
No, you first. You have better questions than me.
Not necessarily, no. How about small businesses? Do you work with small businesses at all?
We can, yes. We have a team that we can refer those out. Yes, we can definitely do that.
Because I would assume small businesses sometimes are in the same boat. I mean, if you run a small business, your job is to grow your business, and all of a sudden you have this healthcare thing on the side. It's like, what do I do with this? So it's great to have that ability.
And if you're a sole proprietor, you're allowed. You can get small group insurance for health insurance.
Okay.
Yeah, you sure can.
That's key to know.
Yeah.
That's key to know as well. And is the process similar as far as someone working with you guys on the under 65? Is that okay? Here's my stuff. Here's my renewal information, and you kind of walk them through the process and look at what maybe some other options are.
100%. I mean, the biggest thing is if I haven't helped you and you're on something, I don't know what you have. So people will just assume that I know. I can't find that out because I'm not the broker of record. So that's also key to know what you have so that I can help you know if you need to make a change or not. That's so important. I mean, looking at somebody's ID card doesn't sometimes tell me what plan you're on.
Yeah.
So you need to know what you're on so I can help you make any changes.
Well, and I just also know why you may have picked it in the first. In other words, if you're on this plan because, well, this doctor was in the network, it covered this, I needed to cover this, I needed to cover that. Probably best to have that information for you so that you can be like, well, just so you know, it no longer covers that.
Absolutely,
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good segue about people that get these calls this time of year by random carriers.
So many.
Or by mail.
Yes, the mail, but the phone is so important. Nowadays there is so much scam out there. Folks need to be careful who they're talking to. Our guidance is don't pick up the phone unless you know who it is. That's our number one guidance. I mean, folks that pick up the phone and they're like, hi, is this Angela Windett? All I have to do nowadays is say yes. They're tape recording me saying yes, and they can disenroll you from your plans and put you into something else. So you have to be absolutely careful with what's going on. I mean, you want to trust everybody. You want to see the good in everybody. But talking to someone local, probably, that where you live at, that someone that's trusted like Steinlage, that we have your best interest.
Exactly.
And that's perfect because that's exactly, we tell clients that even about on the financial side, right? And we always tell them, never answer the phone saying your name. Just say, can I help you? Or, who's speaking, whatever. So that you can see who's on the other side because that's exactly what they want. They want you to say your name and they want you to say something, you say the word, and before you know it, you've been enrolled in something or taken off something, and that's where the problems begin.
100%. And the other thing is Medicare number. No one should be asking for your Medicare number over the phone. That should be a big red flag if someone is asking what your Medicare number is, just like your Social Security number.
Exactly.
Don't give that stuff out over the phone.
Yeah.
We're trying to help our clients be more savvy and giving them these tools and resources so we're helping them make the best decisions for their needs.
The bottom line is if you have anything to do with Medicare or healthcare, just call Angela.
Yep, exactly.
And that's it. I mean, you don't have to worry about it then.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it's the truth.
And it's always just whenever you're the one making the call, you know who's on the other line.
Absolutely.
You know what they're doing. And then if they need some information from you, where you're like, okay, I called you, so of course you're going to need this information from me. You would never call me asking for this information.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You just hang up and then call Angela back. Did you just call me and say you needed to know? Okay, that's what I thought. Boom.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's always a key thing to keep in mind. But man, this has been, I always learn so much.
It's a whirlwind though.
It's a whirlwind of great information.
Absolutely.
Though. I mean, I can't tell you how many things even being in the financial industry myself, you forget sometimes about, how exactly does the IRMA work? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What are the changes? There may be people out there. I mean, I remember I was surprised the first time I got the notice from the Virginia State Exchange. I'm like, so it's not the federal one anymore? What I mean? What does it mean? They're automatically going to renew this, right? And then, sometimes if you switch insurance but don't tell Virginia, they might just renew you, and then you're sitting there with two health insurance, which you probably don't want to be doing, right? So you just it's always good to just have someone like Angela there and Steinlage to really just say, hey, just help me walk through the process.
Absolutely, 100%.
Here's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So,
and just remember, all of our services are absolutely free. So why not have an Angela in your life to help you with this process and give you guidance?
I was going to say, that's the perfect answer, right? Because in reality, that's true. It's like, this is free. Just go and find out, it's going to help you, right? And this way you have somebody that has the knowledge that Angela has and her team has and will help you through the whole process. I mean, what more do you want? Wow.
Exactly.
Because believe me, it's a pain in the neck. I've done it, so it's like
every
single year I go through all this and I might call Angela myself, you do it.
You want to do it this year for me? But speaking of that, though, if people are like, I really need to give Angela a call, what's the best way to get in touch? I mean, is it phone, website? How should people reach out?
Anything. I mean, phone, our local office number is 434-602-9200. Then you can reach us at Steinlage insuranceagency.com. That's where you can view some of our webinars. Say you want to be part of our, I think next week we have our annual enrollment update webinar. You can go on there and you can register and see other webinars that we've put on. So calling and going on the website are probably the best two options of how to get in touch with us.
Perfect.
And weren't they rated like number one on something?
Yes, because I know when we announced that last time
you
you guys had won the Daily Progress Readers, I think it's the Reader's Choice.
It was 2,
and now it's again.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. We've been the agency, number one agency in Charlottesville. And not to brag on myself, but I was also the number one agent 2 years in a row.
Congratulations.
Well.
Yeah. Well, I can see why. I mean, absolutely.
Thank you.
Between the charisma and the
so
knowledge.
Knowledgeable,
what do you need?
Exactly. And so, so definitely Steinlage Insurance Agent. I'm going to spell Steinlage just in case anyone heard. Steinlage is how you spell Steinlage. And then is it SteinlageInsuranceAgency.com?
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
Perfect. There you go. Super easy.
Yeah, please, I'm telling you, call Angela. Just call her. Don't worry about the website. Just call her.
Just call.
Yeah.
But Angela, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
really
Angela.
appreciate your time.
Always fun to have you on.
Thank you again for having me today.
Oh, it's been fun.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And from one great desk to another,
Absolutely.
we're going to go ahead and rotate here. And we're going to rotate from Angela to Alexia Fox from Roslyn Farm. But as we do that, just always a pleasure to have.
Oh, it certainly is. And it's
so
like
much.
I said, it's a wealth of information. And you know that we have clients that are always in that situation. And we say, yeah, listen, you've got to call. As to whether they do or not, who knows.
But especially
it's
in today's
important.
world, I mean, there's a good chance that if you are not working for a large corporation, and then you're working for a very small business or for yourself, there's a good chance you're either about to be on Medicare or you're on one of the exchanges. And you're on the under 65 open enrollment. And that's where you need the help, because you're navigating it by yourself. It's not like your employer's like, here's your coverage, congratulations, you're done.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you have to deal with. And that probably speaks to a lot of people that are in the workforce today.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's free, right? And second of all, they're doing all the legwork. I mean, granted, you first have to give them the information. So the first year, yes, there's some information you have to give them. But then after that, they already know. So it's great,
Yeah, so be sure to check it out.
Yeah.
Be sure to check it out. And then, as I mentioned, from one great desk to another.
Absolutely.
We're excited to welcome to the show this morning Alexia Fox from Roslyn Farm and Vineyard. Alexia, thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on. So, I mean, maybe for those who haven't met you yet, you can tell us a little bit about yourself and also how Roslyn Farm got started and what it is.
Yeah, well, so I'm Alexia, and my family owns Roslyn Farm and Vineyard, and I'm not really sure how it came to be what it is today, but it's been a wonderful experience. We built a lot of it kind of around our family interests, and then as I started to have children, we started to do horseback riding lessons and summer camp, and all of the things that I was doing with them started to happen and be open to the public, and yeah.
So that's awesome.
So you grew up there, actually?
I grew up next door.
Next door.
Yes, I grew up next door. So we always were like looking at Roslyn Farm.
Yeah,
I was dreaming about sneaking into the white barn that was there and having horses in it and all of that. And then in 2015, my family had the opportunity to buy it.
Oh, that must have been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Do you remember the Western Bypass?
Yes.
So that was supposed to cut right through the farm.
Oh, my goodness. Thank goodness that didn't.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, really?
So that was kind of why it stayed like a preserved little open space right there, is because it was waiting for the impending Western Bypass to happen.
So, well, thankfully,
thank goodness, yeah.
Because it's a beautiful space, as you can
really
see just from the website. They have the beautiful photographs and the gallery there. But maybe tell us a little bit, because I know there's several different amenities that Roslyn Farm and Vineyard provides. Maybe we just start with that wherever you want to start, actually.
Yeah, well, the big thing that we are steering into now is weddings. And the thing that is really cool about us is we're about 2.5-3 miles from where I'm sitting right now, which is kind of wild.
Oh, absolutely. It's so close.
Because you're driving on Hydraulic Road, and we're right between Albemarle High School and the Rock Store, and all of a sudden there was a farm there. So just being that close to where everything is happening in town. And then we provide lodging. We started out on Airbnb. So when people are getting married, they're able to stay At the
that's
farm.
pretty neat.
Yes. And a lot of the business model, we felt like with the local wedding industry, a lot of it was kind of, you've got 6 hours on site, you're kind of like rushed around, it's
Yep.
$1 million. So we wanted to be able to have people stay like the whole weekend, get married there, do your rehearsal dinner there, you know, like integrate yourself into the farm.
Which really probably, I'll bet you the couples that do that, they must be like so grateful because so much is kind of out of the way. It's not like, oh no, I need to find a venue. I need to find a place to stay.
Yes.
I need to find a place if my venue doesn't have a getting ready room, I need to find somewhere to get ready.
Yes.
And then rehearsal dinner is its own, especially in Charlottesville. I had a harder time finding a rehearsal dinner venue than I did a wedding venue. In Charlottesville, sometimes they're smaller. You can't necessarily find a restaurant that doesn't want a whole bunch of people. So it must be
Yes.
great that they can just have that peace of mind, like, oh yeah, the whole thing's
Everything can
kind
be
of
there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's full service. Yeah, and we do our best to grow and raise as much of the food requirements on site, and now we've got the wine requirements, so it's really kind of a full farm-to-table experience.
Oh, that's
pretty
fantastic.
neat.
And-
Now,
and-
is the food covered by you guys? Did you have like your,
That is the ultimate goal right now. We work with people's caterers.
Okay. Oh, but that'll be pretty neat.
Yeah.
When it gets there,
Yes.
that'll be fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
especially
much.
if they grow some of their produce, right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
we've got a big garden. I'm the gardener, so
Oh,
that
you
takes
are?
up
Okay.
a lot of time, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
What are there some neat things? 'Cause I know just looking from the pictures, it looks like there are some kind of interesting, like, unique aspects to it. Like it looks like there's some like older vehicles and.
Yeah, so have you been there? You've got to come by.
I've not
No,
been
yeah,
actually.
no,
Yeah,
I
you
just-
guys need to stop by. It's so beautiful. And I know there's a lot of old homes and beautiful estates in Charlottesville already in the county, but this is such a neat old house. It was built in the 30s. It feels a little bit older than that, I think. You mentioned Roslyn Chapel. I think they pulled some influence from that, but different. There's only one S, though, in our spelling.
Yes,
People
I
keep
did-
looking
I
up
did notice that.
2 S's. There's some beautiful old gardens. Charles Gillette was a big landscape architect back in the 30s. I think he did University of Richmond. He did some stuff at UVA. He did the gardens in the immediate grounds right around the house. So that's all been preserved and is
wow.
very pretty.
Yeah, you definitely did a historic vibe
Yes.
from it. So,
Yes.
and which I think a lot of people, I've noticed a lot of people getting married are going a little bit. They want to say, what if I wanted to do this a little more traditionally? You know,
Yeah.
because it's funny now. I feel like different now is to not do the very large industrial-looking barn that became in, and now it's like, well, what if I do something more
Yeah.
traditional? This definitely fits that.
Yeah, and we're not huge, and that's okay. I feel like we're perfect for maybe up to 120, 150 at most, but kind of the sweet spot is like around 80 people. It's because the outdoor spaces are very kind of quiet and intimate, like moving through outdoor rooms, and I like that feeling.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much
Yeah.
so. So maybe tell us a little bit about too the vineyard. How did that kind of come about?
Yeah, well, it started. We did our first planting, and really the goal was to try to utilize like every square foot that we could of the property because we're not that big. So being able to provide the wine was a goal. And we started in 2016. I'm sure people saw vines going up
Yeah.
and then kind of going down. Like we did the best that we could, and we learned a lot through doing it maybe the wrong way at first, and we got the right people on board. We got a wine consultant. We learned how to do it, and then we have planted every year since, and now we've got some beautiful vines in the ground.
And what type of wine are you looking at?
Right now, there's Chambourcin, Bianca, and Petit Verdot, Merlot, Albarino. Petit Mansing is my favorite.
Oh, yep. That's those are good.
Yeah.
And then Petit Verdot is like a staple, I think, in Virginia, which is otherwise not very forgiving
Yeah,
environment.
we are having a wine release tonight.
Oh, wow.
You guys should come. You should stop
Nice.
by. From 6 to 9, it's not our first wine that we've made, but it's our first dry white. And it's a Bianca.
congratulations.
It's very, very good. So from 6 to 9 tonight, we are doing a wine
Okay,
release with a
fantastic.
band and
Yeah.
oysters, and it's actually named after one of our sons. It's called Billy C.
Okay.
Is the name of the wine.
Nice. And I think you guys, is there a regular wine tasting as well?
Yes. So We have a wine tasting every Sunday currently. Ultimately, we would like to be open every day of the week if we could be, but we're trying to balance kind of the other things that are happening on a small property. So, having weddings or having lodging and trying to how do we make all of that work right out of the house?
Exactly.
So.
But that's pretty neat. So does especially now take advantage of
advantage of that. Those Sundays.
Yeah, those sunsets.
And we're looking at getting bands for the rest of the year.
Oh, nice, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because especially now, you're going to start getting some good sunsets.
Yeah,
exactly.
As the fall comes in.
And the weather's a little nicer.
The weather's nicer.
It's so much nicer.
Yeah, it must be. It must be even a challenge, I guess, in the summer whenever it's like, oh man, it's just so hot.
Yes, it is.
I would imagine.
Now, weddings, is it mostly in spring, fall, summer, or is it all year round?
There's weddings in general follow a peak season.
Right.
I think most people prefer spring and fall.
Okay.
There's people that are crazy that get married in the summer. I am not a cute summer girl. I can't imagine getting made up and having a wedding in the summer, but we do offer it.
Yeah.
And we've got some nice shady spots. Okay. So that's pretty good.
They can work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I prefer the fall personally. This is my season.
Yeah. Now, is most of the the venue for where people would have weddings, is it mostly outdoor, and then they sleep in the manor house?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that must be a neat experience too. And do you guys have the tent?
We do
already. Oh, that's
important.
That's always a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Those tents are not easy to come by.
Yeah.
No.
When you were trying to
and then when it gets really kind of disintegrated and you've got people trying to book the tent from the company, get it on site, it's just too complicated, I think. So it's better when the venue has
one less thing to think about, right? I mean, when you're getting married, there's so many things that you're already thinking about. Then also it's I got to call the tent person, and I got to call the caterer, and I have to call. You get to the point where it's like, did I miss anybody? The flowers. I forgot about the flower.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
now, out of curiosity, is the lodging, the staying there, is that only for weddings, or is there a separate?
No, we do lodging in addition to weddings. Yeah, for a long time we were doing just lodging as we were kind of developing the venue. So that's been going on for about 10 years.
Okay.
Very nice. So
how many rooms does they have?
We've got 5 bedrooms in the manor house, and then we have a 4-bedroom cottage.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Wow.
Do you find a lot of people that will come and try to spend the weekend or something like that?
And there's all sorts of reasons that people come to UVA. I thought it would be, or to Charlottesville. I thought it would just be the university or just weddings, but there's people coming all the time, so it's a big industry.
Yeah. And think about how perfectly located, because I think a lot of times people are like, okay, I don't want to feel like I'm in a city. I want to feel like I'm enjoying kind of that rural landscape, and then be like, oh, but I'm actually only
there's 2 miles away.
2 miles from downtown.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, there's coffee. I feel very spoiled, to be honest with you, to have lived in this area right there for my whole life. It's like you can go to the store. Like Trader Joe's is a few blocks away.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Coffee, everything. You're in the middle of the city.
Yeah. But amazingly...
But you don't feel like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the key.
You really don't.
If you looked at... Until you told me it was 2 miles away, I would not have guessed it. Because you looked at the photographs and you're like, no, that's got to be, way out there somewhere.
It's the best part. Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I can imagine a very nice place to just... Especially, I could see if you were not in Charlottesville, but I could also see some people who live in Charlottesville. Or, maybe somewhere nearby, like, I'd love a weekend getaway, but I don't really want to...
Travel too far.
I don't want to travel too far. I just want to not think about things for a whole weekend and just go enjoy a beautiful landscape, just saying, hey, let me book a weekend there. And, okay, I drive half an hour to get there, and now I'm there.
Yeah.
But I'm still right in the middle of Charlottesville.
Yeah, we're very Uber accessible. Oh, okay. It's you can drink wine and then you can be picked up, and I love that for the safety component for the weddings.
Nice. That is very nice. Yeah, you don't have to worry about your guests.
Yes.
Coming off that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I know exactly where it is because I saw those vineyards growing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yeah, I know.
So you've seen it?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a beautiful spot. I kept looking at that. I said, wow.
And it's kind of got like a berm, and there's the vines, so you can't really see down in there, but that's us.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense now. Yeah. Okay, I think I remember now.
Yeah.
I don't often drive on that road.
As soon as she said hydraulic, I said, I know where it is.
Yeah, we're sandwiched between Hydraulic and Lambs Road.
Exactly.
That's us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. I'm getting the picture now.
Yeah.
I'm very bad directionally, but now I'm getting the...
Yeah, me too, actually.
I'm getting the picture. Yeah, my wife
It's a beautiful spot,
of the direction.
Yeah,
with
my
the
husband.
phone. And then you mentioned equestrian too. I guess that's something that I just grew out of your doing it.
Yeah.
And now,
well, we had the farm, and it had to be a business, and like I said, we just kind of were like, well, what do we do? So I grew up riding horses. All of my sisters did, and so it was a farm, but it hadn't been a farm for a really long time because of the highway. So it was a big labor of love to get it revitalized as a property that could have animals, and we're right by the road, so getting good fencing, getting all of the infrastructure in, and some of that is still kind of an ongoing effort. But once we got that in place, the horses came. We've got cows there, lots of livestock. So then I started teaching horseback riding, and as that evolved, we started to do camps. So we do summer camp. We call it pony camp, and then we have camp days on the days off from school.
Oh, okay.
So we teach riding and we do camps.
And do camp.
Yeah.
That's very nice, yeah.
That's very nice. That must be
Again, it's so accessible, right? I mean, it's so
yeah,
close.
exactly. As a parent, it's not like I got to take my kid out,
about an hour away, exactly,
to go to the middle of. It's like, no, okay, I can pick them up from school. But there's some schools.
There's a lot of schools.
There's a lot of schools, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I have a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
Okay, pick up my kid, drive 5 minutes, and they're at camp.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge deal, the location.
That's wonderful. So what is a day camp look like?
Yeah, so it would be hard to fill every hour, I would say, with specific horse things. So we do predominantly horse pony camp, but it's a farm too, so we try to integrate all of the farm components, help feed the animals, and then help be in the garden. There's a lot of that, and it's very fun.
That's awesome.
And my kids have a blast because they get to be there, and then they've got all these friends that come and hang out with them at their little farm, and it's so special.
That really is nice. That's nice. What's it like? I mean, our audience always tend to love this question. What's it like? Because obviously, you guys purchased the farm, and then you're like, okay, I need to do something business related with it. What's it like being an entrepreneur on that kind of entrepreneur side of things?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's good, but it happens fast. It's like, okay, this is expensive, and we have to generate revenue. How can we do that? And then we had the county for a long time just putting up every possible roadblock, just right out of the gate. They were like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, but also you can't do that. And then every time that we would kind of get through a roadblock, they would create a new regulation. So then anyone coming back through, it's like, oh, well, you got to do that. Now that next person probably won't be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just escalated for a long time in that way.
Which is rough. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the top challenges for small business is
Absolutely.
Regulations and roadblocks and red tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's always wildly inconsistent. For us, it was like, I don't think there should be a venue or alcohol in that location. And they would try to, because we're a rural area, and they would try to say that, shut down the people way out in the rural area because the roads are bad. And we would be like, well, but we're on hydraulic road. We're in the middle of town.
Exactly.
What's the problem? And it was arbitrary and just people not
wanting
wanting
an Uber, like you said, an Uber could
Yes,
come
it was
pick
like
up
as
everyone.
safe as it could possibly be. So it just was inconsistent in their, their decision making.
So
it felt personal.
Yeah, those are tough.
But we survived, and we keep surviving. So
you pushed through it, and now and now you get to kind of enjoy a little bit. Not that the work ever ends, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's like Monday through Saturday or Sunday.
Now, do you have help with the farm also?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's hard. I know that's
we've grown.
That's a daily, labor of love.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you say is your favorite aspect of running it?
My favorite aspect is that I have built it around my children, so I'm able to be a mom and able to work and have my kids integrated into what I'm doing, as opposed to trying to do work in addition to being with my kids.
Right.
It's like it's all one part of it. Yeah. Which is a huge deal for me.
Yeah.
Which was, I can imagine.
Yeah, in essence, it's like working from home, right? Because you're working at the farm, you know where your kids are. It's not like I'm working somewhere else.
When they're seeing the aspects of the business
absolutely.
and growing up with it. Like, I'm at, so this camp is what my mom
Yeah.
does, and I'm
Yeah.
there. I get
Yeah.
to see it, and this farm is what we do.
And it's totally multi-generational. It's my mom, and then it's my family, and then my brother works there, and
That's awesome.
his fiance, they're getting married at the farm in
Oh,
October.
that's
She
awesome.
is the barn manager, and she helps teach horseback riding lessons. So it's like you're running into my family
That's
at
fantastic.
every aspect, which is
Yeah.
really wonderful.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We are big fans of family business.
Yeah, you guys get it.
With Xavier and I. Well, David, my dad, and then Nick, who booked you, is my brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, there
So
is
you
a
guys
beautiful
get it.
thing
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, when you can make it work,
Yeah, it is.
and you all get
It's-
along.
It's a blessing when you
it's
can
a
make it work.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
It
say,
really
yeah,
is.
probably pros and cons like anything,
Yeah.
but the biggest pro is it's your family.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
well, Alexia, this has been fantastic.
Absolutely.
Before we let you go, what's the best place if people are like, okay, yeah, I'd love to either start thinking about a wedding there or look into the lodging or the camp? Where should people go? How should people
Yeah,
find
I mean, I post a lot on Instagram. Our handle is just Roslyn Farm with one S.
Nice.
That's a great spot because we've got kind of all of the like highlights, and then you can navigate which aspect you're trying to find. Facebook, and then we have roslynfarmandvineyard.com is our main site.
Beautiful. Yep. That's the one I have to. Roslyn Farm, Roslyn. So only
Yes,
one S.
only one S.
Only one S is the key there, and it's great. The website's got some great photographs, and you can really get a sense of just how nice and peaceful it is. The one thing you don't get a sense of is like, oh yeah, it's so close to town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
So
maybe
gorgeous.
we should just
Yeah.
get like a drone photo.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, here's the farm, and then here's all of this other
And here's all
stuff.
this other stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause, it looks so nice and
No,
secluded.
exactly. Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
would never guess.
That's the
Yeah,
beauty
it's
of
magical.
it. Yeah.
It's magical.
That really is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
Alexia, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Right. Can I
Really
keep this?
appreciate it.
Yeah, please keep it. You can keep
Okay.
all this.
Oh, wonderful.
Brought
Thank
it
you
for
so
you
much.
guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Don't forget tonight, there's an event at the farm, 6 to 9, and then we have a big kind of children's event on Sunday during wine tasting.
Oh, beautiful. And is that also 6 to 9?
No,
The
that
wine
we're just having it happen throughout the duration of tasting, so 12 to 6.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
tractors, horse, pony rides, all sorts of stuff. You can
Oh,
find
that
out.
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, big family event on Sunday, so you can find out more about that online.
Wonderful.
Nice. So 6 to 9 tonight, and then 12 to 6 on
Sunday.
Bring the kids.
Bring
Yeah,
the
Bring
kids.
the family.
absolutely.
Bring the kids.
Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah,
on.
thank you for
Appreciate
having me.
Thank you. That's great.
Well, this was a great show.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I tell you, I mean, I mean, I didn't
we
get
done?
a chance.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
don't
my
worry.
first time with this.
No, yeah, exactly. No, no worries. We're just closing out the show. This is what this is what we do. But yeah, great
So I
show.
was going to say, yeah, it was a great show. I was going to say, I mean, once she said hydraulic, I said I knew exactly where it was, and I said, yeah, that's, to think about that farm back there, right, and smack almost in the middle of the city is
that's
incredible. What a perfect site,
But that's beautiful. So yeah, this has been a great show. Next time when we do Matthias, we'll do some finance.
We'll do some
topic.
financing topic,
We'll
absolutely.
definitely do some finance.
Yeah.
I know people are probably wondering about the interest rates. Fed.
Yeah, I mean, I just, it's interesting because when it happened, the market already expected it, right?
Yeah.
So after it happened,
Well, the market
it was a
expected, but it's maybe
blend.
still that people are like, what's the Fed doing? It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Xavier can do some Fed speak. Well, some translation of Fed
Translation of FSP,
You know,
yeah.
it's like its own language. So Xavier will translate it for us next time, along with have Matthias Yon from
Absolutely.
Matthias Yon Realty.
Yeah.
Our monthly meetup with him is going to be coming up next week. So be sure to check that out. 'Cause I think it's
That's next week. I think it is next week.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
we're,
first
we're
week of
a slight
October.
off.
Yeah, we
cadence.
were off for this. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it will be next week, I think. And if not, then it'll be in 2 weeks. You can check on Facebook on Today and Mañana, and you'll see when it is. 'Cause
Exactly.
Nick is always great about putting up the reminders up there. So be sure to check that out. Of course, thanks to everyone who tuned in today. Always appreciate it. I think we also did have, Lucrecia Morales. Muchísimas gracias.
Lucrecia.
Tuning in from Sombreros right here in the downtown mall. Dominique Clothier, thanks for tuning in this morning. Always appreciate everyone who likes and shares and puts a notice on it. And of course, always feel free to send us anyone you think we'd love to feature on the show. We do not charge people to come on the show, so be sure to send us anyone our way. And thanks, of course, to Judah behind the camera, making us all look good. To I Love CVille Network, Emergent Financial Services, Matthias Yon Realty, Charlottesville Opera Forward, Adelante. Thank you, Xavier.
Oh,
being
thank
on
you.
with
It's
me.
been a pleasure, as always.
Always a joy. And thank you all for tuning in this morning. We look forward to seeing you next time. But until then, as we like to close it out on the show, hasta mañana.